Alright, hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we have sort of like a Q&A video. I did this kind of at launch. I had like, I think 4 or 5 videos where I did this, and you guys did enjoy it, so I'm going to bring it back. And I found a good Reddit post. It talks about pretty much a lot of questions that the player does have about the game, and I'm pretty sure other players have these questions as well. And you know, I do read a lot of what the devs say and all that, so I do have some answers. So I'm going to go through this. I'm going to try to give the best answer I can, and yeah, we're gonna go from there. And I am gonna link this down below if you want to read it, upvote it, all of that. But yeah, I'm gonna go through it, give my opinion, give the answer, and we're gonna go from there. So let's do it. A few questions about single player, high-end armor, skilling, companions, marriage, etc. Hello, I've been enjoying the single player for about 50 hours now, and I'm currently on my 3rd playthrough with Sturgia on realistic difficulty without any mods. I have a few questions. Alright, let's get into it. So, how can I get high tier armor and weapons? So far, I've got high tier armor from my wife. Arrow for the win, but no shop is selling that really good stuff. Talking about the Sturgia endgame armor, for example. Do I need to be max clan tier, or does clan tier not affect that at all? Alright, so there's a couple ways you can do it. First, obviously, you can take from your wife right over there. That is the most common one. And when it comes to shops, the town needs a very, very, very high prosperity for bigger armors and bigger weapons to start selling there. So kind of late game-ish, a couple years, couple in-game years, you should start seeing them. But still, they're not very common. Another way you can get them is by just attacking very high tier lords, and there's a chance that one of their armors might drop. It's very, very low chance, but you know, that's one of the ways you can get them as well. And as far as I know, I don't think max clan tier or clan tier affects this for the player on the player side. Next question: how can I skill companions? I've disabled automatic allocation of perks and skills at the start of my playthrough. However, I'm not being able to skill them. Is this bugged, or am I simply doing something wrong? No, it's not bugged. It does work. It just depends what you're trying to skill, obviously. If you're trying to skill one-handed, give him a one-handed weapon. If you're trying to skill his bow, give him a bow. If you're trying to skill his riding, give him a horse. If you want his athletics, don't give him a horse. And stuff of that nature. If you make your companion a governor, he's going to start getting stewardship. What else? For you can get him a smithing XP by obviously making him smith. And just it all depends on what action you're trying to do. Some do not work at this point because some perks and skills are still not fully implemented, but a lot of them do work. So yeah, just depends what you're trying to skill, really. Alrighty, next one. How can I marry off my children? I want to marry off my son and my daughter. I successfully talked with nobles and picked the offer hand in marriage option, which results in the nobles telling me to seek out his child. I do that, but it doesn't give me any further options there. Is this not implemented yet? So right here, the whole offer hand in marriage, this pretty much has to do with the player character and whoever you want to marry, right? So if you talk to a noble, you can ask them to marry their daughter, something like that in that fashion, right? But right now, you cannot marry off your children. That is not in the game yet. Next up, does every NPC spawn at some time and are dead NPCs being refilled? I currently don't have a spice vendor. Does one spawn in later stages of the game? Also, my engineer of knowing died in battle, and I'm wondering if there's another one of his skill set that will come later to replace him. Yes, companions spawn over time, and actually they're spawning a lot faster now because obviously deaths in battle are a thing now. They weren't a thing previous to 1.5, now they are, so therefore, yes, over time they will come in all the time. They don't really stop coming in, so eventually you will find another spice vendor and another engineer. And it's random what you get at the start. You might get like one spice vendor, maybe 2, or none at the start. That's just how it is, right? It's kind of random. Next, we have the best skills for a companion that should lead his/her own party. What is the best skill category for a companion to have so that he can lead his party without being captured too often? I'm thinking a scout and leadership. Scout technically right now doesn't do much. They still need to overhaul the scout skill set. Leadership is a good one. I would just say make him a good fighter, because if he's a very good fighter, if he has very high athletics, then he can actually last longer and not just die in battle. But there's not, I guess, like you said, leadership, because obviously you gain morale in battle, but that's just about it, really. Make it a good fighter so he doesn't die in battle, because that's going to be a waste. And obviously, if we're talking about companions and leading their own party, always make sure you buy very good armor, because companions do die now a lot if they just have their plain armor. Alrighty, next one. The best skills for a companion that will be governor. What are the best skills for a companion that I use as a governor to my fief? So this one always depends. And another big thing about having a governor to your fief, I would suggest you check out the culture of the said companion or whoever you want to put as governor, and make sure it matches the the fief that you are trying to obviously appoint them to, because if their culture is different, there's going to be a lot of negatives. And in terms of skills, whenever you want to appoint somebody as a governor, I would just select them and see if there's any pluses it gives or if there's any minuses, and go from there. Like I said, it's different for every fief, really. Next, we have King Companions level leadership. So far, no companion leader leveled up leadership yet, intended or a bug. So for right now, it is hard for them to level up leadership, because the only two ways you really can do it is obviously by leading an army, which they cannot call yet. They can join it, but they can't call one. And the other way is to have a high morale in their party, and it's kind of harder for our AI to do that than the player. So again, it depends on skills that they might have and stuff of that nature, and also their food variety, which they tend to kind of go starving quicker than than even other lords. So therefore, their morale isn't going to be super high. So their leadership skill in turn will not go up significantly. So I guess it's intended, but I don't know if they're going to change that and let companions start their own armies as well. But we shall see. But that's pretty much all the answers to these questions. Hopefully this was informative. Let me know any questions, any other concerns. And yeah, I'm going to upvote this. If you guys, are having trouble with this as well, you guys can join the conversation, all of that. But yeah, without further ado, stay safe.